Click recording and go live. Hey, the gang's all here. What's going on, everybody? This is the Bachelor Pad Radio, Facebook Live, YouTube. What's going on? Hi, Al.
Hi.
I like you're all bundled up with your...
I know,
the hat's back.
I looked at my phone today, and it was like winter weather advisory, and I was like, I'm going Russian, man. I'm staying warm today.
And this is Jared, Al, Jared. What's up? Anybody who's popping in, this is Jared. And yes, if you're looking for a ring and you want to go, he went to Jared. That's the guy they're talking about. This is breaking news. This is the guy behind all the Jared shenanigans. So, it's funny because he and I were talking. Right, he comes in. He works pretty local around here. So we shoot the breeze. Obviously, do the all the vapor stuff and whatever. Right. Well, he throws out the, as we're having the conversations of, well, what are you doing with your life, right? No, it's good, right? Everyone's got a job, and,
right.
He was mentioning job A, and, well, maybe if I looked over here, job B or whatever, and I was like, okay, so none of your jobs. The first thing you identify when you're talking with youngsters is what, hi, Grandma Lamb, when you're talking with youngsters and they're talking about their places of employment, you get one or two things. You get, nope, this is my place, man. If I work through the rungs, dude, in 20 years, I can be district manager and whatever. Or, yeah, no, dude, it's a cool job. But
Right.
I want to do this or I want to do that. And one of the things that he had mentioned was he wanted to get into TV and radio broadcasting, actually, going to school and taking some classes in that, in that realm. And I was like, cool. But then hit the, maybe I'll, that's kind of risky. Maybe I'll play something safe and then see if I can do this on the side or whatever. And then I broke down the understanding of communications as a degree, and then having your minor being, TV, radio, broadcasting, whatever, but generally
Sure.
a communications degree.
Yeah.
So we had some good stuff, and then he sat and thought about it for a couple of days and went, well, you did say I could come in on the podcast and hang out for a few. And I was like, for sure, bro. Come in, get a mic in front of you. See
Right.
how it feels. Maybe we light the fire. Maybe you go, you guys are idiots. This is, I'm going to go to welding school. I've had it.
I mean, we are idiots.
Yes. So once you draw that conclusion, you're right on point. So, yeah. So what's going on, everybody? What's happening?
So I had a job interview today. Speaking of jobby things.
Dude, again, or you could be him and he has a great job already, but then still looking for another. The grass is greener.
Right.
Hi, Rachel.
Well, all right. So
Hi, Marlene.
I have realized over the last couple months too that I'm someone who needs a challenge.
Understandable.
I get bored way too quickly, and when you tell me oh, you're going to maintain this legacy application, and I'm like, I write the same code with tweaks pretty much every day, just fix this, fix that. Then I got a interview at this place that's right across the street from my office, and they made a huge deal today, right? So this is the second interview. They call you in for the in-person one, yada yada. Third interview, I guess. And they make a huge deal about they're going to sit you down in front of a computer and you're going to have to write code. And I'm like, great, because that's what I do. I wouldn't hire a mechanic without him fixing a car for me, duh. And they make a whole big deal out of they're going to give you a problem and nobody ever finishes the problem in 45 minutes. Nobody ever gets something running, yada, yada, yada. Took me about 30 minutes to fix it.
There we go. There's my guy. Look at Al.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, am I way better than I thought I was? Or are they just bringing in really terrible candidates? So now I'm a little scared because I'm like, oh. But then again, if you wave way more money than I'm making now on my face, I'll probably just leave and be like, I'll write code 12 hours a day.
No, and that's a great thing when you get some experience behind you, whether degreed or not degreed or whatever it may be. That with doing so, yeah, you can if somebody's going to allow you to come in and interview and show your merit,
right?
Then cool. There are
that's why I love these you want to be a programmer. Cool. I don't care where you went to college or if you went to college, or I don't even care if you went to high school. Can you write code? Can you do the job? Yes, no, end of story. So
that is that. Yes.
That's that, man.
All right, so we've got Jordan, and Marlene in, Rachel, of course, Jordan stopping and listening while she's working. Awesome.
The tiers coming in.
Yeah, we've got our couple tiers. Marlene, actually, I'm not sure if you got a chance to look at the page. Look at the page throughout your travels today. But Marlene did at some point. There was a cool topic and an interesting topic because something near and dear to my heart is, girls liking girls or girls messing around with girls or whatever. So
I do like that. Dude,
it's kind of hard not to like it. But we're going to start off and we're going to go directly into tea business. So, and, with apologizing for our didn't make it to the late night tea outing.
Right.
Mine was I had a foreign obstacle, decide to jump inside of my eyeball when I was in my garage cleaning the hot tub, doing everything, that I thought this is harmless, right? Wiping everything down, doing whatever. Well, I swept out right before the garage, a bunch of leaves had, accumulated during the beginning part of winter. So I'm doing that. I feel something kind of get by my eye. Obviously, I'm touching my eye, rubbing my eye, and cleaning a hot tub, right? So I got something. I started to get my eye was irritated, and then I got almost like a sty. So I immediately went and got the stuff. And, it happened a lot when I wore contacts that I would, too much messing with your eye and jacking around with it. So I did that. Dude, when you called me and was like, hey, where's this place at? And what time we meeting up and going to do whatever? I take a picture of my eyeball and went, dude, it looks as if I've been shot in the eye with a friggin' pellet or something. So I was like, yeah, that first impression of going hanging out with everybody, like, this is the dude who does some media. Cool.
He's only got one eye.
Dude, now, you know what? I could have rocked a patch. Like if I would have had a pirate patch left over from an old Halloween costume,
right?
That would have been solid. But yeah, everybody else seemed to have two functional eyes, so I was gonna go ahead and hold back. So yeah, all right. Thanks for the input, Al. Good job.
Well, I just tried to look for that post, and it did not appear for me. So
all right,
I need to know about this, man.
Okay, all right.
So the eye's cool and all, but it's all better now. We're all good. It's a little bloodshot, but
dude,
I'm glad it wasn't like a stripper sitting on your face, and now you got pink eye. It was some chemicals, but hey,
it's kind of funny as you mentioned strippers sitting on your face. What are strippers generally? At least the female type. They're women, right? So the post came through.
At least the ones I know.
There you go. The post. What's up, Jamie? Oh, there's Strauss in the house, all the way from Texas. Like me some Jamie Strauss. He's a good dude. All right, don't get me wrong. I love the D, but some of you females in here got me like hashtag sit on my face, right? So I see this, I kind of giggle. I look like two comments below, and there's my friend Marlene, and friend of the show Marlene,
right?
And she sends me a message and was like, hey, I don't know about topic wise, but what do you think about using this as a topic? Because she said, here's my show idea. Love the girl crush. Most women have them, even if it's a secret, right?
Right.
So I'm pretty well versed in. For some reason, I must be the most unthreatening. He just talks a lot, and after a few drinks, I really like girls, but I haven't had some penis in a while. We'll let Jake hop in there because I've messed with so many girls that are I've come to the term 3/4 lesbian, right?
Okay.
Now Marlene's question is totally different because she's just like the post, she's with dudes and really likes the D. And not just Detroit or Dallas, she likes that side of the sexual realm. But every now and again, looking at pretty pictures of chicks and whatever, it arouses kind of a girl crush,
Okay.
And it's the thing that trips me out is girls have the ability to still be, heterosexual in general.
Right.
And then kind of move sideways to but I really like her. She smells good, and we kiss and make out, or maybe go to third base. I don't know, So it's kind of weird on that spectrum. My knowledge happens to be because I'm a dude with girls who mess with girls, right? And a lot of guys are like, screw that, they only like girls, whatever. Dude, I'm intrigued, and, you're beautiful. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you like elephants or, giraffes or whatever. Cool. You're a cool chick. I'll sit and hang out. Now, one thing that I found out is if you hang out long enough, all of them either had a history of shenanigans with dudes or had they still like the sex, right?
Right.
And somehow I have factored in with probably like 7 of them over the last 2 or 3 years that were chick friends, right? Not like a serious dating relationship, although the friends with benefits was like 50-50. She wanted a boyfriend hangout hookup, and she wanted a girlfriend hangout hookup. And ironically, looking for somebody who would be cool with both, which I don't care what you do. Like, I go to work for 8 or 9 hours, right? When I get home, I don't care what you did. Did you hang out and watch, Ellen and, you watch The Lion King and cuddle with a chick and do weird stuff? Cool. As long as when I go for a glass of Kool-Aid, my Kool-Aid is still there. Really don't care whatever else you get into or whatever else entices you. So that's kind of my, it's kind of my take on it. So with this, it's weird because Marlene, she posed it, so I figured I'd run through some of the comments on here. And one thing we love about late night tea, and Graham was in there earlier, gave me a fist bump and was like, dude, I really like the late night tea, dude. You are the man for hipping me to this.
I'm convinced that there is no one who would not like the late night tea.
That is correct.
Like the leader of the Westboro Baptist Church, whatever that guy's name is.
Probably down with the clown also.
He would probably be like, well, Jesus, I didn't know this was another side of life.
Yeah, no, it's a very good side of life if you ask me. So there's Jessica, my exact thoughts, right? Then ironically, I know this girl, and it's funny, there's 9 replies directly underneath it, and I happen to know one of them. She might be the one who accidentally added me to this group, so I'll have to call her and thank her at some point. Shauna says, oh, so many beautiful women, and they're all single. Why? Right? So, again, I'm not the only one doing Facebook creeping when you see, he sips the tea. So
I sip the tea.
So as you look at it, and yeah, they're single, because they've been on the wrong team. Obviously, Shauna, she's trying to draft, right? She's trying to pull a couple over. She's trying to pull a couple over onto, onto this side. But so then let me see.
I mean, sometimes you just got to be a free agent and figure out who's going to offer you the biggest contract.
Kind of like you in your job pursuit.
Exactly.
Well, and then we've got and then the one who's because they've been on the wrong team, and then another one chimes in because guys are fucking morons, right? Which I'm not going to argue that fact, right?
Yeah,
I talk to dudes.
That fact.
Jared, I talk to dudes all day.
Oh yeah.
Some of us are friggin' morons.
Some.
Most.
Yeah, I'm not a moron. I'm a pretty heavy thinker about it, right? I mean, I don't mince words. I may not be considered a super nice or I can't believe you said that. The truth, right? Can you handle the truth?
Right.
Do you want to do this or not? Because seriously, I could go home and pet my dogs. I'm not wasting time and whatever. Are we doing something? No? Cool. Like, I'm done with all the in-between, patty cake talk. I'm like, dude, I'm an adult, dude. If we're doing something cool, well, let's just hang out and see, let's just see how everything, maybe. And I was like, no, I ain't got time for maybe.
Right.
I don't have, my dog isn't giving me a maybe cuddle. Fire Stick is not giving me a maybe. I'll show you some cool stuff on TV. The Cody app seems to be working pretty good, so yeah, I'm good.
It's a great little program.
That's
by the
right.
way, the Cody app.
Guys wonder where all the good girls are. They switch sides because guys are dicks, right? So that's a dude. That's a dude chiming in. And that too is huge. That some chicks have really bad. They have a badass draft game. Now, if you're getting the ladies who are trying to pull them over, yeah, dude. Whoever that one in there, where Shauna, yeah, it sounds like she's trying to pull them over, which. Makes me always think of like a vampire. How vampires turn someone. That there is kind of a thing that I notice when a girl mentions something. I see they don't even wait to slide into the DMs. It goes directly right there. Well, hey girl, let's go out and grab a drink tonight. I'll show you. Those dudes are assholes. Let's talk about it. Wink, wink. I'm like, you are getting down, bro.
But if I slid in there and I was like, I'll give you a guy who's not an asshole. Let's go out for a drink and I'll show you how great we can be. They'd be like, oh my god. That is so creepy. That is just wrong.
If you did it in that voice, it would definitely be creepy and wrong. But
hey, girl.
but yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. There are no men on here. I am not looking for. You're not looking for. Oh, all right. So Dora, she said, there are no men on here. Oh, there's a lot of dudes. I mean, there's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of dudes creeping around on the page, prospectively. And, there's a ton. Now, believe it or not, in Bachelor Pad land, there's a lot of dudes hiding out, on here. They just don't really comment. I don't know why. I don't even want to know what they're doing, why their thumbs aren't accessible. You hit the ladies' room in a bar. Oh, my God. Marlene's got all kinds of – dude, she's a crafty one.
I've never actually hit the ladies' room in a bar, but maybe I should try that.
Well, I mean, that all of them are going to pass you at some point. So if you just post up outside, that could be
that's my spot. I'm not on the dance floor. I'm at the women's bathroom. That's not creepy at all.
No, not at all.
No, it's totally normal.
Or you've got a really overactive.
Right.
Oh, and then I'm a good woman. I haven't switched up yet. She's on the. It sounds like she's on the. Well, and what do you think about it, right? Because I think women, and kind of what Marlene was leading to, that, damn, that is kind of true. Like, dude, there's a lot of pretty chicks, and and when you get in a group like this and you can learn a little bit more about everyone, what they're thinking, what they're doing, heaven forbid. And I'll tell you I'll throw it out there just because everything I do is a sociological experiment, right? So by looking at some of this, I'm like, oh, well, this chick and this chick, and I'm like, cool. And I'll say it's probably like 25-30%, like from the little tiny oval icon. Wow, she looks kind of cute in that tiny little like peephole thing. You click on it, view the profile. Cool chick. She, lives here, works there, and whatever.
Right.
You look and go, wow, she doesn't seem crazy from her page. There's not 1,900 memes of, just horrible spelling and whatever, right? She seems like a normal individual. Not that I'm going to drop something in the DMs, but I also want to know, okay, cool, that's what that person thinks, that's whatever. And then I look at another one or other comments. But it's funny because with looking at this, even girls like, let's say Marlene, she was like, oh my God, that girl posts a lot, and dude, she's so pretty and whatever. I don't know, does she play for this team, does she play for that team? You can learn a lot from looking at someone's unblocked social media stuff, right? The one thing I found is almost everybody is oh, wow. She said it's like a pickup spot for girls picking up girls.
Ooh.
And I guess because y'all do chat in the bathroom, you're not like us. We don't talk, right?
No. If you talk to me in the bathroom, that's weird. I had my the first week I started working at my company, right? We've got like the men's bathroom and the women's bathroom because that's the way the world works. And like, I'm in the bathroom. Our CIO is in. There's 2 urinals. One's the big one. One's the little one. 2 urinals. I'm 6'8". He's at the big one. I gotta pee. I go to the little one.
You're at the tiny.
Right.
Gotta like kneel down.
I'm doing my thing, and he looks over at me, and I kid you not, he goes, "It probably looks really funny right there."
Wow.
Like,
did he make eye contact? Or was he saying
made eye contact? Like, that was a horrible Chinese accent, so I apologize to literally the entire country of China.
Thank you for clarifying that was a Chinese
but
accent.
But, like, wasn't doing anything by it. That's just, like, who he is. He is a walking HR nightmare. He has zero filter. But I about peed on my hands. I was laughing so hard. Because it was just like, it probably does, but...
Yeah, no, that's a weird him at the tall, you at the small.
And it sucks to be 6'8" and have to use a small urinal because sometimes you gotta like make sure that you're not peeing on the top of it. I've done that before where I look down and I'm like, I'm not even hitting the bowl. I'm peeing on top.
Yeah, and there's a lot of splash that could happen.
There's a lot of distance in my stream.
I know. I've created splash peeing in the tiny little one. I think that's just disrespectful to even like little people because even then you're just like they're getting splashback. Like that thing's damn near on the ground. Like I'm just peeing on the floor. Right. There just happens to be
just give me a trough.
So what's your take on the? Have you ever messed with a girl who either lightly messed with girls? Like if it was I like it when it's a conscious thought.
Right.
And I guess from years of hearing that everything was alcohol induced. Like, oh, every time those two, every time old Janie gets drinking, then it's kind of crazy. They just make out with other chicks, or they just go, look, I kind of dig other chicks, and if I have some drinks, I'm liable to get loose tonight and do whatever. If they're conscious of it ahead of time, I almost like that because it adds a little thing. And I don't care if she's going to cheat on me with a guy or a girl or not even cheat. Like, we could be at a random party and I look over and, balls, she's making out with somebody in the corner.
Right.
Maybe she's coming home with me. Maybe she isn't. I don't know. I should probably start looking for a backup plan, but nope, here she comes. Cool. Your makeup's all messed up and you got a number. Cool. We're going home and cranking. So it's kind of weird for me because I don't really care. And I do like how like randomly free everything is now.
Right.
Like at least, in millennial range for sure. It's very, it's wide open. It's the, wide open. It's the wild, wild west, which is cool. The thing that freaks me out is with dudes. Like you and Graham, y'all's conversation from the other day. The reason I was cracking up so hard, that's not the first time I've heard it. I've heard it from and again, I have no, maybe they both are. There's Marlene, and it could look.
Hey, man,
it's literally you never know until you try, and that was an old adage my grandpa and dad used to say back in the day, but not about that.
I do know though, so I'll give you my you never know till you try. Right
here we go, Marlene. You were right.
So here we
Marlene,
go.
You're a psychic.
We were drinking and we're having a good time, and my buddy, who's like flaming gay, he's the funniest kid. He is from Detroit. Grew up. I was there when he told his grandma that he was gay because, first time I met him, he said something about a girl, and I straight looked at him and was like, "Wait, you're not gay?" He's like, "No, what? I'm not gay. What do you mean?" And then he kind of was like, a couple of years later was like, "Yeah, I'm like super gay," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I know you do the whole I'm not gay, nigga." And then you walk down the street, and I'm like, dude, I've seen women walk straighter than that. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, which is great because he would walk down the street in Ann Arbor, swinging the hips, looking all gay, and somebody would be like, faggot, and he would turn around and go straight Detroit on him and be like, "What the fuck you say? I won't get the fuck back." I'm like,
wow, you're dropping a lot of bombs today.
And then turn around and be like, "Oh my god, that guy was so rude."
No, I like the hybrid of
right.
And it's weird. I mean, everything is super personal with with overall behavior and whatever, how some of the things go. But in that same token, you've got you've got some that are like, "Oh my god, I'm really," and they'll go home and gripe and complain about it and be like, "Dude, did you believe what just happened?" And then there's some that, "Dude, did you ever see the vampire movie on HBO, True Blood?"
No.
Dude, you haven't watched True
Dude,
Blood?
I've never had HBO in my life. My parents didn't have it when I was at the house. You got a fire stick.
You on the black web, pulling up weird roots from from the center of the earth and stuff or whatever, and you've got them in little jars in your thing, but you haven't figured out a way to stream movies?
I'm pretty sure I could. Fun fact that I found out today.
Yeah.
Because of the way physics works, if you actually dug a hole from this shop all the way down, straight down through the center of the earth, and you jumped in it, you would just perpetually kind of fall to the center of the earth, go all the way back to the other side, and then fall back to the center of the earth.
Yeah.
I kind of want to die in that way.
Oh, just from the...
Just pack some snacks and some drinks.
Well, yeah,
and just
from the gravity, yeah. Yeah, no, it would be a lot like the bungee rides that you get on at those.
It just never ends until you're like, and I'm out of food and water, and now I'm dying.
Or you run into the molten core of the earth.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's also the molten core that may hurt a little bit, but no. But so I've known this kid for 8 years, right? We're drinking. It's shortly out of high school. We're at his dad's house, and he's throwing a party, and we're drinking, and we're all hammered, and he's like, "I'll give you $300 if you let me suck your dick." And I was like,
you'd be like, "Hey, bro, you could have just asked. We're kind of friends, but don't get me wrong. Hey, $300. Did you take the $300?
I did not.
What? Look.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? That is a horrible. Warren Buffett would say, "Take the money, regardless." If you're feeling experimental, I mean, don't do it because of the $300. But if you were going to do it anyways, take the $300.
If I was going to do it anyway, I would have been like $300 and I get sucked off. Yeah, let's go. But turned out nope, that was it. I was like, no, I can't. It's weird. I don't like you like that. Like there are girls, if they were like $300 and I'll blow you, I would have been like, nah, I'm just gonna go home and crank one out to some porn. No, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't take the forceful rapey from a chick who was like, hey, give me, I'm gonna. Well, even if they weren't gonna give you, but if they just asked you for, like, hey, let me do whatever and do it right now, would you? Like you're saying you would still choose to go home and chill?
If I didn't like you like that, nah, I'm going home chilling.
I could kind of understand where he's coming from, especially if like it's someone you've known for a while and like you would continue to have to like hang out with them after that, just awkward tension after maybe.
No, I'll be awkward, dude. I mean, think about how many times you've randomly hooked up with people and then like at work or whatever, and then you still had to be around them, and it's awkward. But yeah, I find it really hard unless I'm in
my job.
unless I'm in a horrible mood, and I hate to use the old stereotypical like headache or whatever, like, oh dude, I got a headache, or blah blah blah, or if I've had a history. But if it was just out of nowhere, like, you go into the party store and you're chatting by the thing when you're grabbing a soda and you're standing in line and it's a cool chick and you're, hey, blah, 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 whatever. And cool. Okay. You talk and you maybe talk on the way out and like, hey, I know this is totally weird and so random, whatever, but you seem really cool. Like, would you be opposed to, to catching a blowy? Like, how about I fucking, give you, and I'm like, are you serious? Like right here? Like, yeah, dude, my car's right there. Let's hop in and whatever. Now, I would say from in the world we live in, like weird, like who knows, you're liable to hop in the car and then there's a gun and now you're getting robbed, right? So that's a thing. I'll give you that. So the overall cautious nature of weird things could be happening like underlying for it, but in general, if it was like safe place and there was nothing and whatever, yeah, I would totally, like, I don't think I would say no for any, and Graham's with me on this one. He's lying. Rachel says you're lying. I believe I'm going to take, like, Rachel could tell me anything about Al from just because she was the one who tricked him into getting a Facebook through, late night tea and whatever. That
don't sell the rest of these late night tears short over here.
Yeah, well, I know there's other ones on there. She just happens to be ours, right? Just because she's infiltrated. I'm gonna take her
She's
overall.
Infiltrated the bachelor pad.
Yeah, she has. She's seen the the inner realm.
She's seen the chipmunk come out.
She's seen the blue paint, bro. She knows the deal. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, and number two, has it ever happened to you? Have you ever had a, hey, what are you doing? Let's hook up, other than your buddy who was willing to pay for it, which says something about your attraction. Well, like, people are attracted to you. They're really attracted to you.
Dude, he's 6'8".
That's right.
Everyone
needs
that.
to know,
Oh, yeah.
I've had that in my life, right? Like, I am not the most attractive looking guy. At least I don't think so. But apparently it works for me because there's always somebody somewhere being like, oh, hey, that guy's cute. Let me get his number. Let me do this and that. Like, my entire life has been, like, in and out of relationships. But whenever I was single in those 6-month year stretches, it was like, boom. And dudes would be like, do you just have a giant donger? Like, we're like, what are you doing? Because these women should not be with you. That's...
Well, there is a predetermined thought that, that ladies do have, right? If you're that tall and you're that whatever, taller guys are supposed to. Now, there's one thing that I've noticed about tall fellas, because I played football, right? And I showered in high school and college and whatever with people, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I know a lot about the penis, right? I didn't want to know that much. Nobody told me. Like, when I started playing football when I was like 9 or 10, like, hey, you're going to learn a lot about this team, sportsmanship and this.
And also your quarterback's penis.
And the male anatomy, right? So I've seen quite a few more than I kind of ever wanted to. But again, because of my sociological, observational science nature, I went, this and this, and that's great. And a lot of the myths out there can be broken, right? A lot of the and it was funny with certain ethnicities that are supposed to be larger than normal on a higher than higher than normal average. Definitely not always the case. Can you, Jared? You're the just make sure the door closes behind. So then you've got the that's supposed to be the deal, and then we've gone from there even further. Where I was joking about, what up, Angry? There she is.
She does look angry.
Yeah, she's been angry. But then we were talking, somehow the conversation had come to you, right? No, Al, or maybe it was the day you dropped Trow, right?
Oh, yeah, that could have been.
And I went,
I mean, you tell me you think you cut my legs, and I will take my pants off and prove I didn't cut my legs.
yeah, well, I got something we might need to, and we've got just the person here to do some of the science. And look at this, Mister. I forgot to get taco fries. We have a live on the air trial of. I don't know if anyone out there has actually had the Taco Bell fries.
I had them the other day. They're pretty good.
Pretty good on a scale of like if you were gonna go, are you a Wendy's fry guy? You a
well, see, so when Wendy's like took the salt out of their fries, I didn't really care for them, but it seems like they're putting more salt on them again, so they're getting better.
They use sea salt, bro.
Yeah.
Well, see, when they first started doing that, you just couldn't even taste the salt. They were just like potato wedges. They weren't really any good. But like the last couple times I've gone there, seems like they're like pretty salty, and they're getting good again.
Okay.
I'd say Wendy's probably my favorite again.
So like Wendy's, McDonald's, boom, 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 and kind of on a scale, where would you feel the Taco Bell fry falls into that realm?
I'd say probably like below Wendy's, but still above Burger King on their fries.
Now, where's McDonald's in that scale?
McDonald's is number one still.
Okay.
They have nice, crispy French fries.
The McDonald's has the best fries.
But see, these aren't like regular fries. Like, go ahead and try one. They're not like just plain.
I like how he
right.
Go ahead and try one as if he
he
was the fry master.
Inspect the fries before I try it. Here we've got. They look like
those
they're,
are in a
crispier.
realm of their own because they're like seasoned or something.
Wow. Yeah, they are seasoned fries.
Oh, also, I just thought about this. Five Guys. Five Guys is number one with their peanut
when
oil
you
fries.
I can't
Five
stand
Guys burgers and fries. When you put and fries, they gotta have a little something to them.
Dude, I can't stand Five Guys.
Really?
I think Five Guys is awful.
That's where you draw the line. Like
Yeah.
Four Guys is good. Five Guys is too much for Al.
I don't even know about Four Guys, man. I've only got enough room for three. No.
Oh wow.
No,
well, no, those are good. That would be an
they're good.
interesting. That is a nice thing. If you went there and were like, oh, I mean, if you're getting regular tacos, I don't think you'd need to have fries per se for me. But if you were getting like, I don't know, a quesadilla or some steak, steak soft tacos or something, that would be a good like throw in. That would be,
and now that I say it, they're going to do it in 3 years. So in 3 years, you're welcome, America. These would be really good with like a fancy kind of dip, like a cinnamon sugar like dip kind of deal, like Applebee's does.
They've got
like
nacho cheese dip, and then I saw a commercial where they'll make like nachos on top of the fries, and they've got like chili cheese fries, maybe because it's just Detroit.
Fry Bel Grande or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, you've done your homework. And it's not like we brought Jared in as like a fry connoisseur, like we were waiting for this moment to happen. Just by happenstance, hey, have you guys tried these? I actually have. And on a scale of 1 to 7, these are a good 5.5. Yeah.
I was thinking about going and getting these for the show tonight, and then I sat down on the couch and immediately fell asleep until like 9:20 and was like, oh, hey, yeah, nope, that's great.
They actually have the $5 box that they got going on it's the fries and then
okay, good.
Yeah, I think it's the fries and then like a Dorito taco and a gordita or a chalupa or something. It's pretty filling. It's one of their better boxes, I'd say.
There we go. Look at the kid. Kid knows his box ensembles.
Oh yeah, I am the fast food connoisseur.
Nice. Yeah, no. That was a very good, well thought out, even though on spur of the moment chat about Taco Bell fries.
So I'll give you though. You got to go to, and my dad and I used to do this when we were driving someplace together, and we were like, we're going to stop at the fast food. We'd go to Wendy's to get the burger. Then we'd go to McDonald's to get the fries. Because Wendy's fries are awful, man. I don't like Wendy's
You're
fries.
not a fan, yeah?
I'm not a fan.
They've been getting better. I'd give them another
They've been
try.
getting better, but I had them the other weekend, but I was still like, ugh.
Just not as good.
I got a medium fry. I don't even want to finish it. It's just like after the first couple, it's like, okay, this is a potato wedge that's kind of floppy with some salt on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, theirs are kind of like soggy.
Right.
They got those limp dick fries.
Yeah,
Wow.
see, I don't need no limp dick, all right?
Okay, now back to your penis.
All right.
I was having a conversation and it was joking back and forth and whatever and this and because of my overall knowledge of the weird male anatomy with being in sports and showering with people and whatever, you can pick up on some cues. And it wasn't like just the same dudes, right? Because I played ball in Texas, I played ball here,
right?
So there was I had a weird, larger than normal scale, no pun intended. And when Burger King used to have awesome fries.
Once upon a time.
Yeah.
I would go there and just get the Whopper, like when they did run the Whopper deals. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anything other than a Whopper from Burger King.
Surprisingly, they have really good breakfasts there. Those croissant witches, those are pretty good.
Interesting.
I don't think I've ever dabbled in the breakfast there. But when we were talking about it with you dropping trow, and every girl that like in weird mention, if you're 6'7", 6'8", and whatever, like their hands are larger, this is larger, so the unit should be larger, right? Just by proxy. Now I have met taller dudes of that, and they went, yeah, man, that ain't the no. Don't get me wrong, it's not like a micro penis, but it's very similar to from what I gather. My buddy, obviously, they played sports or played ball.
Right.
And they were, it's pretty much normal and whatever. And I was like, no way. And then when we were joking, and it was at your expense, not really, not like, ha, but I went, you know what? I go, dude, it's very hard to be that thin in general. I go, it might create the thin penis. It might be long as balls, right?
And
it might be as long as balls, but thin, right? Not like, like a baby's arm holding an apple, but thinner and, and longer, right? Because there's no way, genetically, everything else, you can seriously, touch the wall from here with your middle finger, that your unit wouldn't be longer by proxy, right? It just seems that's the way it's supposed to be.
I mean, I can definitely touch the wall with them. I'm right here.
That's right. See, but yeah. So I was like, no. I was like, did you see when he pulled up his leg and he had his legs are thin, right? That means the penis has got to be there's no way his penis could be bigger than his legs.
Now,
there's no way.
What if I just threw the curveball and was like, oh yeah, man, I got a super chode. It's like 3 feet long and like a foot wide.
That'd be awesome, dude. I will start charging rent. People come out, Al, go in the back and dude, your boy. If you learned anything from not taking the $300 for the blowy back in the day,
be like, we're gonna $20. I'll show you the chode.
Right. Do the helicopter and come out if they want anything. If there's multiple helicopters or anything like that,
each rotation is another 20.
That's right. So it's kind of Ernest, you stepped in at a weird time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had the and part of the thing. This was non-football related, but I had a buddy of mine that a Hispanic dude in Texas. And we were out. I've known this dude since 8th grade. Never played ball or played sports, but he was like 6'4", 6'5", Hispanic dude. And he was half Mexican, half white. Tall dude, right? I'm 5'10", and a half, right? This dude's, 6'4", 6'5", and so I'm like, okay, boom, 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 and we were just hooligans, right? Like I'm 20 years old in Texas, 1920, during my shoot out the lights and do every drug under the sun and screw life. When we were out there, we had done something, and we were behind this building, and he was like, gotta piss. So we pulled over, and I'm like, dude, we're in the middle of the hood and whatever. He's like, screw it, I gotta piss. So we're taking a piss, and in the middle of talking, just how I told you that if you're gonna continue to talk into the mic, continue talking in the mic, and not turn like this. Well, that's kind of what he did in the middle of his pee. We're talking, and the guy rule is you don't look at the other dude when you're peeing, right? I don't care if it's outdoors, if it's at a basketball game, you keep your eyes forward. If you do get ever lulled into a conversation with somebody when they're peeing, right? Because some people don't know the etiquette and they'll do whatever. And I also don't want to fight. This guy may zip up before me, and now he's hitting me, and I got my penis out, right? So I'm going to, I know that's crazy, right? So I'll say something, but I'm going to keep the eyes front and center, right?
Yeah.
So he does the, man, and I'm seeing pee, the water or the pee water is coming to him, and I'm like, whoa.
You didn't just start sword fighting with your pee stream?
No, I wasn't going to. I mean, look, if he got pee on me, yes, I'd pee back on him. It would be a really weird scenario, pee begets pee in that situation.
Sure. It's only fair.
But as he's peeing and whatever, and I was like, whoa, dude, I see the stream. So by proxy, I look back what are you doing? And I went, the hell is that? And he was like, what? And now he's standing right now looking at me. And I was like, dude, I'm trying to bounce out of the way of the pee. And I went, your penis looks like a gardener snake. And he was like, what are you talking about? Man, look at how long it is or whatever. And I'm like, I was like, it was weird. It was oddly thin.
So what you're telling me is that he went full long dick on you.
Well, for being flaccid and just taking a piss, right, or taking a whiz, like sometimes it'll be bigger than normal. Depends on how bad you gotta pee.
But is he a shower, not a grower? I mean, is that it?
Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it could only be so long because it was.
At that length, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. All it was going to do was puff up a little bit and maybe stand up. That's it. But I went, holy crap! But it was thin. Like I'm talking. I don't know what kind of units of measure you've ever used. With your unit. But, when you think about men and women in doing shenanigans, right? Like, I'm not going to mention in what scenario this would be relevant, but if your fingers, right? If you have 2 fingers and that seems to be pleasurable, around the young ladies, or 3 is like kind of pushing it, without like folding them into a tripod, trifecta or whatever, that, because very rarely do you go past that point, right? But generally and if you look at the, circumference of your business and you go, my unit is, thicker and wider than 2 this way and 2. This is good, right? And if you think to doing this, yeah, dude, it had the equivalent of more of 1 finger. like, okay, I'll maybe give it the middle finger, but like that, just chilling. And I went, oh. And it was funny because I busted his balls about it for life.
But I also wonder if, like, once your dick is that big, like, how wide can it be before it's just like, I can't, like, you could never use it. I read an article about the guy in the Guinness Book World of Records. He's got the longest dick. It's 14 inches. And he was like, no, it actually sucks because it's wide and it's thick, so, like, I never get sex.
Yeah,
I've put it in.
I've heard of girls turning down, like, and there's memes. I think Lord knows, if anyone's out there in, in late night tea land, if you have they have that like a girl with shock and like, oh my God, when he happens to break it out and it's too much or it's too big or whatever, and yeah, I've heard there's nothing I can do with that. Like you're cool and whatever. Like let's go back and watch TV because that looks troublesome. Like. That looks kind of random.
You don't even well, that's just out of the question, but you can eat my business and I'll eat your business and we're all good.
Yeah, but what if they try to pull a sneaky Pete and oh yeah, blah blah, and just
just rip everything open.
Yeah, now
you're in the hospital because you can't get it out, it's stuck. And
well, I've got 2 friends in Texas and both of them, I mean, they were self-proclaimed, Big Dick McGee and whatever, and I'm like, like, yeah, life's easy for you with the with the giant phallus symbol. Good job, guys, right? Until one day, the classic, hey, boom, boom, like, dude, look at the rims, man, look at how, and then the next was just a big shining pile of cack in your eye, and you're like, oh, and I'm like, I couldn't even turn away. I was like, what are you? I was like, no, right. I was like, what are you doing? Like, dude, that looks so angry. Like, why is it mad? Like, if you could tell, it's its overall behavioral, like, it had an attitude and whatever, and it just looked gnarly. I was like, dude, you. Poor girls. Like I've met some of the girls you've dated. Like that thing is horrible. Like, and he was the same dude who'd shake your hand and he'd tickle your forearm because his fingers were had just giant.
Right, like Ron Jaworski.
Or Tony Robbins' hands. You know,
just huge,
just weird. And I was like, wow, that's ornery. But you gotta, and I guess this is it went from the lady stuff into into penis talk because. You heard the guy that he was like, oh, does your unit look is it you take any pictures that look like make your unit look like a black guy's penis anytime recently? Dude, the weirdest thing in Texas, there was a girl I was talking to and hanging out with, right? And
sure,
I was traveling, she wasn't always around, and somehow it got into sexting 101, right? So sexting shenanigans. Well, I'm sitting there, and the room, I had red paint, which ironically I have red paint now in my room. So, but I had the Texas sunlight coming through, coming through the window, and with my blankets and whatever, and I fluffed the old buddy up and boom, and take a picture, right?
Yeah.
And I take a picture and I sent it. I didn't even look at it, and she texts me back and like, why did you just send me some black dude's penis? And I was like, what are you talking about? I look. Dude, because of the red and the red light and the way that the camera or the phone camera did, I went, oh my God. So then it became funny. So now I showed everybody in my office, right? And my buddy 3, he's a black dude. And I was like, dude, I did what he was like, man, you got to let me see. So he was like, oh, damn, that's a good looking penis, Jake. Yep. If I didn't know better, I'd say that
penis.
That belongs to a brother. He was like, look at the color on that. And then, of course, now I got a couple Mexican dudes that come in the room. They were like, ¿Qué pasó? Mucho. What is this? And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I was only between me and you. So then it became a running joke. And, dude, I had it saved on a phone. I swear I wish it was still saved on a cloud because the coloring of it was totally different. So I was like, no, look, same blanket, same whatever. Like I did.
Are you sure you didn't just take a Sharpie one night? And
it just
look, I'm a black dude now.
Or I got some new boxers and didn't wash them first, and they did whatever. No, but I mean, I was looking at it. Everything looked fine. It was the normal coloring it was supposed to be. Something with the lighting and
Texan sun.
And it very well. And
that's what it is.
Yeah, I've been out there hanging a line out there in the. In the sun, not good.
Yep.
That thing's never seen sunlight. That thing could be a vampire.
Were you hanging a line into the big old fish pound of Texas down there?
I don't think so, man. I accidentally I went tanning one time. The gym I was going to had a free tanning for whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I would go on occasion, okay, boom, and just your boxers afterwards or your shorts that you were lifting in. And you'd go in a stand-up, right? And the stand-up, I guess somebody was like, oh, they put new bulbs in or whatever, and I wasn't paying attention. Well, I went in there, and I had just gotten done. I went in the hot tub that day, and I dropped trowel, and I was like, and I had, running pants on or whatever. So I was like, oh, I don't even have boxers. And I was like, how bad could, all right, so I'll just get a little bit more. So I dropped trowel. So I'm standing naked in the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing naked, and I'm doing I don't want the little lines and whatever. So I'm like, I'm standing there. Dude. Get done. I'm like, that's fine. Dude, I woke up the next day and I got up and I got up out of bed and I noticed some discomfort, but I wasn't awake yet. I went and sat down and I was like, oh, no. What is, And then I remember this is crazy. And when I went, dude, I burnt the whole, because dude, from my upper thigh to, to my waist, has never seen sun, ever. What reason would my buttocks ever have? And dude, it was burnt.
I can think of multiple reasons why your ass would have seen sun.
Yeah, not mine. That thing has never been out in the sunlight.
No nude beaches?
Why are you going to nude beaches?
Why are you not going to nude beaches? They're great.
This is Europe?
Look at me. I was a super redhead. I'm peach colored year round. You think I randomly go to beaches? Dude, you know the amount of sunscreen one would have to use to not wind up in the ER?
No.
Yes. No,
that's
the brother.
Question or a great point there.
Yeah, dude. It's not like beaches are my thing. Now the pool in Texas, you spray on some stuff and whatever, and go to the pool and
right.
I mean, and yes, if using super sunscreen, I can be out all day and I am as red as a cherry tomato. You're like, dude, you should probably just go to the hospital in the morning. And I wake up and everything. I'm like a chameleon or whatever, right?
Right.
It's just from the heat and whatever, I'll turn red, but then no sunburn because I was using a 60 SPF or something random 80, and yeah, dude. So it kind of worked in that in that realm, but yeah, dude, the butt that day, dude, my butt and. Dude, and the cack and balls and in that area, dude, the boxers just, you move and it was just ow. The front of your legs, yeah, dude.
Ow.
Even, I'm fairly certain even peeing was a challenge at that point. So it wasn't good. I didn't like it. It was not the wisest decision I've ever made.
Sometimes you need to just let the dang-a-lang get some sun, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to, I know this sounds horrible, but I'm going to get off the cack here for a minute. A couple things. I pulled this from Ricky Smiley's official fan page. That what do you think about the woman suing Walmart for locking up predominantly African American hair products, right? So I see this, and then I paid attention to a few of the comments being made by either celebrities or people in social media in general. This lady went in. And she looked around and, she went through and here and there. And as she goes by, she looks and she's taking a video and was like, wait a minute, all the Caucasian products are unlocked and there's glass cases for, that, have, predominantly African-American hair products behind glass to where you've got to go get somebody and whatever. So number one, I get the point that it's it's inconvenient, right? So the fact that there's a convenience factor in it, totally understandable. But in the same token, I've distributed products to Walmart, right? Now, everyone knows Calypso lemonade, right? Have you seen the Calypso lemonade?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you've had taco fries already. I'm fairly certain you've run the realm of lemonades.
Yeah.
But Calypso lemonade is one thing. I go and we're distributing Calypso, and we get it into Walmart, right? And it's a great thing, and we're running around, and we've got it in Walmart. And, of course, once you get it in, and, I was a sales manager at the time, so I would go into, okay, that's cool that we've got it on the shelf. How about letting us do an end cap display, right? Because people buy stuff on end caps, and we'd build like a pyramid or multi-levels of different colors and, just something to catch the eye to get people to try it. So we would go and do this. Well, in summertime in Texas, it's hot, right?
Yeah.
And this was in a more urban setting of Walmarts in this area. And a lot of people walk there there's like 7 super apartment complexes around them. And anybody from Texas, any of my Texans, this was 30, Highway 30 in Buckner. And so I go there and I talk them into putting it into the area where they have it in coolers, right? Yeah. So you can go by and grab one while you're shopping and whatever. Well, I go through and I have, I double check on how things are going. And my salesman or my driver was like, yeah, man, they pulled it out of the cold, so we can't have it in the walk. So I was like, okay, next time I make it by there, let me go by. The salesman's losing sales because people aren't buying it to drink, when it's there. So I go in, and when I talk to, the store manager and the area manager, I was like, hey, what's going on, dude? It was selling good. Here's the deal. Oh, yeah. Too many were getting stolen, right? And one great crazy thing about Walmart, even if you get away with stealing something in the heat of the moment or whatever,
right?
They have everything down to the SKU parts. It's not like, a case and maybe a couple came missing out of the case. They have it counted per item, per SKU, per unit. I mean, if they tell you they should have 128 bottles of pink lemonade, they will go count those. And if anyone's missing, so the fact that our item was so readily either stolen and by the employees were going into the cooler and grabbing it because, dude, it's great. Imagine Calypso lemonade being brand new to them in Texas.
Yeah.
All they've had is Country Time and some other Minute Maid or whatever. Yeah. So they're drinking this, and, dude, they were finding it, like, all throughout the back places of Walmart, and they were finding them, and, and they were like, dude, it's just costing us too much, so we can't. And then they're trying to get me to read. They're like, well, here are all these ones. This one's half drunken. This one's, only a little, and here's all the empty bottles. So are you going to cover those? And I was like, well, why? Your employees drank those and didn't pay for them on shift. Why would I, so
right.
Dude, it was crazy. We ended up calling the company and calling this and this because we didn't want to lose that Walmart's business because they sold a ton of them. But in that same token, once they identify a problem, they are pretty, post-active. I'll give it that, right? They saw there was a problem. They said, nope, these can't be in here. That's a problem. So Walmart doesn't have a policy at every Walmart across the nation locks up these, the hair products. And it's funny. Some people are calling it, dude, that's racist, right? What are you trying to say? Dude, I watched The Reel. Was it The Reel? Yeah, The Reel with the Asian lady, the other ladies, the black ladies and whatever.
Sure.
And I watched it, and it was weird because, oh, my God, that is racist. What are you saying? Only brown people steal and, and white people steal and this, and this. But, look, I've been on the inside in the inner circle of this. If things are being stolen, and these are the items that are being stolen, they will either not be sold at that store anymore or they will be put behind glass or put behind a cage.
Right.
Or any number of things, right?
It only makes sense. I mean, I saw that story, and I'm like, well, that's probably because they got stolen more often. Duh.
That's exactly it. I worked retail in a mall, and I would like cover shifts at some of the other stores and some of the other malls. And I think one of the biggest things for us was, I think it was e-cigarettes, not like quite vapes, but like the little ones you could buy. Like usually gas stations have them now. It was like back before gas stations really carried them. Like I remember over in Westland, had them for a minute, and then we only got like one shipment in. And then we shipped the last of our shipment over to, I think it was Ann Arbor, because we weren't selling that many. They were mostly getting stolen, but they were selling really well over there. So it's like, get them all to the store that's actually selling them, not being stolen.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to start getting offended when I go to Meijer and the $50 bottle of tequila has a cap on it, but the $5 one doesn't. I'm going to get offended that people who can actually spend $50 for a bottle of tequila are being persecuted against, and it is wrong.
Yeah, and some of the funny stuff along with it too. My buddy Ryder, he's a union rep, right? And he's extremely liberal, but plays. It's weird because he's responsible, but also liberal, and he pays attention to. There's a hippie vibe and gene to him also.
Okay.
But he said,
I don't believe any of it.
Okay, but he said, should be an easy case if the data shows it's a high theft item. Lock it up like other high theft items. Case closed. If it's not, then it would be questionable, right? So
Sure.
and there is an actual lawsuit going on that they're claiming unfair this and this, right?
Fine.
So other people and then
And also let's call the spade here. If you're really mad that they locked up something you want, it's probably because you were going to steal it. Because I don't think it's really that big of a deal to just go to the person who's standing 2 feet away and say, "Hey, can I get that?"
That's a very weird assertion, though. You can't that's got to be the fuzzy hat talking. Cause
maybe, but
you can't say because you're annoyed that something. Now imagine
I have
everywhere.
never been like, man, they put a cap on the bottle of Don Julio. I am so offended. I just take it to the person or that's behind the glass. I'm like, hey, can you unlock this for me? They're like, yeah, sure.
Right, but I mean, the other side would also say that looking at it, if everywhere you go, like let's say you live in a town and you're an extreme minority, everywhere you go, everything you want, everything is whatever. Now, it comes to that social awareness that, damn, my people are, taking certain things, right? Or, whatever it may be, right? But I think it's more of socioeconomics, right? But then you've got the Winona Riders of the planet that are movie star actresses that are stealing for no apparent reason.
I'm glad we brought this up because it's kind of racist to say that it's racist. Because you're just kind of assuming that only black people use that product now, which is inherently racist.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're playing on high percentages. Don't get me wrong. When my hair was super psycho curly and I was doing the Justin cut like back in the day when I was letting my hair grow, I used Dark and Lovely and straightened my hair. I mean, okay, so two times in my life, right? So I don't think that's enough to be a statistical value.
You know what my favorite skin lotion is? Cocoa butter.
Yeah.
I have gone to bars and people have been like, "You smell like a black person," and I'm like, "That's
racist.
That's racist."
That is racist.
It's very racist, and it's also kind of racist to be like, only black people wear cocoa butter.
Yeah,
I
can't have
it makes
any
my skin feel great.
You guys all make me cringe with having racial. Like I never know what it's gonna be when I have racial. Well, and it's weird because I don't care either way, but I can easily put myself in both people's scenarios, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I jest, but like, okay, sure, yes.
Some
like
of it,
90% of people using cocoa butter are not white people.
Yeah,
like,
and then you get the other side of the coin with doing some of this stuff. I look at it and go, okay, if everywhere I went, the things that I wanted or that were that with doing some of this, everything that I wanted in an area, and I was, part of a large minority of that area, I would get annoyed by it, right? Like, dude, why is this here? I get annoyed when I just go into lower socioeconomic areas, and dude, I need Prevacid, like heartburn medicine, or
right.
The Evaluate or whatever, the CVS brand or whatever it is. I walk into something and I'm like, Argh! I got to go get somebody to get this unlocked. I'm like, dude, what kind of area am I in where people be stealing heartburn medicine? Like, is there just a really bad heartburn epidemic or anything, the ones that are $28 or $30, then it just becomes a dollar value. So, hey, if I can take this, put it in my pocket, cool, I can go sell this and make myself $20 and give somebody an $8 discount, right? It doesn't matter what it is. It's what is there of value that somebody who has a higher, potentiality to walk in and steal something, right? So the higher priced items. Now, the one thing is my buddy, he was like, can I sue for the razors being locked up?
Yeah, there you go.
Is there a real thing like why or how the razors, what's the deal with the razors? Like,
I'm gonna assume,
is it just because people could take them and go harm themselves or something? Or are they,
I'm gonna go out on a limb because maybe, but also they're kind of expensive, and like dudes need to shave, and if you don't have money, that's probably something you're gonna do is turn around and steal some razors so you can shave.
Okay, so it's
probably just a theft thing.
So it's a price thing, or I guess people like balls, man. I really want to shave, and I really got to shave, but balls, these things are expensive, right? Maybe I'll just pocket these and whatever. I'm gonna pay for everything else in my cart, and they're small enough to where you can,
Right,
you know,
you can stick those in your pocket. And if you look at it, it's not all razors, so I don't think it's like the harm thing, right? Because the cheapest, disposable razors are not locked up. It's the, razor head refills for like the, Gillette Fusion thing.
Yeah.
I shave so much, so,
Yeah, I know, right? You seem to be.
I'm a very, very clean-shaven
So
man.
so have you ever and it's funny because even on the reel, like they were like, oh, I've got a record for actually stealing, so I can't say it's this, and that was the Asian girl, right? Asians
Right.
aren't typically known to steal or do whatever. I guess I don't know. I mean,
You
I
didn't grow up with the Asians I did.
what do you live in the country? How many
I
Asians
know.
could you have had?
Like all 4 of them were giant thieves.
Well, dude, country Asians are just country. You're just gonna have to go to country. I'm sure they're Republicans too, right? So they're Republican country thieving Asians. That's not
they're just breaking stereotypes
That's
all over
not,
the
that
place,
is not
man.
that is not, and they all had gigantic wongs and no pun intended wong, yeah. So I don't know, dude. That's so it is kind of weird. I'm not a stealer, right? I'm not a thief. Like there is not even my little brother, and it's funny. Like my little brother got in trouble when he had to have been like 15 or 16. But it was friends and peer pressure. And granted, it wasn't in a really super nice area, right? We grew up kind of, in kind of a lower end side of Texas, or Dallas. And he went in and his buddies and whatever. And I don't know if it was a thrill thing or maybe we should do whatever. But he went in and, and stole. So, and he got in trouble. And I don't think from there, I don't think it was like a problem, like, oh, I've been stealing so much. But he was also not living, our mom was in, Las Vegas. We were kind of raised by wolves. So, so if you're, it's still stupid. It's peer pressure. I was just too scared. Like, my dad would beat me, like crazy if I did something like that. And then I'd be grounded forever. And then it would be a Tuesday, and I think everything would be cool. And you goddamn thief, and just jump out behind a wall. And I'd be like, oh. So I wasn't really willing to risk all that to. And I don't know. I'm kind of cool. I was kind of used to not having crap. Like I became very complacent and.
I've done my share of things that aren't legal in my life, and when you grew up in the country where I grew up, that was like the Friday night.
What is
like,
wrong with you? I never really thought country people were out thieving.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah,
we used to
thrill seeking.
This was a thing that it's probably still going on if I was to guess, but. You get the Friday night football, you're in the country, and our football team. I found out a couple days ago our football team has not won a game in 4 years.
Really?
But all right, I guess we spent $3 million on the stadium for a
no
reason.
real apparent reason, huh?
But no, like the last winning season we had was like 25 years ago. We're awful, man. We're just terrible. We always have been, and it's great to come watch us lose and make fun of ourselves because we're that bad. But we would go and. When you're going to get beat by Ann Arbor Pioneer 72-0 every game, you're going to want something to nip on in the stands, and we're all high school, so obviously we can't buy it. So what do? We drive down to Meyer, and we go to the back, and the guy makes sure a couple cases of beer is falling off the truck, and we give him $5, and then that stopped working because now you're out of high school, but you're still too young, and you're still kind of in the area, and you're throwing a party, and you need alcohol. So you went and you stole Burnett's. You took it off the shelf, you put it in your pocket, and you just walked out.
What is that?
It's like the super cheap, like maybe one rung above 5 o'clock. Just bad.
Oh, okay.
Just awful. But it does the trick.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I don't know. There was one, I didn't do it. My dumb friend did it. He did a beer and go, right? Like Okay, here's another random. All right, this should be the part of the, dumb stuff white people do. Have you ever dine and dashed?
No.
No, I haven't.
Country Joe, you didn't dine and dash? How have you never dined and dashed? You've dined and dashed. I know she dined and dashed. She ain't scared.
I used to live
You
down
accidentally dined and dashed?
I did. I accidentally. So I used to live down the street from a bar. And so I would go there, and it was like a Wednesday night, and I went there, and I had some fries and maybe a sandwich or something, and a bunch of drinks with my buddies, and then we all went home, and
You probably had to pee, and you weren't going to sit down in there, so you went and you just kind of forgot.
Probably. It was a nasty place.
Al sits when he pees, and he's like shit break from
It's true. I sit when I pee.
American Pie.
What's up?
Hey, man, I don't know who that dude looked like. He's got poor aim. I'll be back in about 15 minutes. I got to go sit when I pee.
No, and I went home and like I dropped everybody off
height.
and went home, and now I was literally in bed before I was like, did I ever pay my bill? And I had to get up, put my pants back on, walk back down to the bar because I ain't driving. Like, I came in and the bartender was like,
Oh,
hey. And I was like, I didn't pay my bill, did I? She's like, no, you jackass. And I was like, well, okay, I'm back. Give me a beer and let me pay my bill.
Yeah, I had some. There was Denny's up on Ann Arbor Road in 275. Not sure if you're familiar with it. It's gone now. They've turned it into like one other restaurant to another restaurant or something. And as
there.
It's the building is there, but it's not Denny's no more. It's right next to the Dunkin' Donuts / gas station with Red Roof Inn behind it. But the
is that
Denny's
the Rock now, I think Plymouth Rock, or is that further down the road?
I don't know.
That's
It's right there at
down. You talking about
275.
Black Rock Grill?
No, it's just called Plymouth Rock. It's like a bar with pizza and stuff.
Yeah, they've had
I like
multiple places. Last time I went by it, I saw it was for sale again. Whatever they keep putting there doesn't last longer than a year or two.
I've noticed there's several locations like that in the area where like no matter what goes in there, they don't last more than a year.
Yeah, and after a while, you have to realize that it is they always say location.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter what you put in this location, people will come and
gonna
chill
fail.
and do whatever, right? Or you put it there, or it's going to fail. And you might get a year or two out of it, but the longevity of it,
Just
you
not
know,
there.
the restaurant business here in Canton on Ford Road, dude, if I gave you the anthology of what Buffalo Wild Wings was before it was Buffalo Wild Wings, before it was before it was the place it was before, like Cooker's Bar and Grill. It was a cool place, Americana food and whatever. Good food, but it was Cooker's for a while, and then, them just kind of over it, right?
So you're telling me I need to go get some B-dubs before it's gone?
No, I think B-Dubs is holding strong, man. Everybody loves chicken.
It's been there, what, 10 years almost?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's had to have been a good run.
Because I went there back before I was in high school and still there now.
Well, when you base it around, beer and chicken wings, right?
Yeah.
Some people come there for the chicken, other people come there for the beer, right? So there's a dual-sided, thing, and it's good and safe. Like, we go.
Yeah.
But I was at that Denny's, right? And I had a chick friend who lived in the subdivision, that goes between Ann Arbor Road and Joy. And we're sitting there and we're like, okay, blah blah blah. Well, I'm like, cool. What are we doing? And we kind of thought everyone else kind of had it and whatever. Like, oh, I got like $2 or whatever. Our bill's like $17 between three of us, and we've got like 6. And I'm like, dude, well, what do we do in this scenario? And the other two went, oh, cool. So, all right, dude, we got a dine and dash. You get up and pretend you're going to the bathroom. And I was like, dude, how often do you guys do this? He was like, dude, we're poor.
Yeah.
Dude, I dine and dash all the time. You just don't look like you're a dine and dasher, right? Just look like you're having a good time. Don't be nervous. And I was like, dude, no way, and whatever. And they were like, yeah.
That is the trick, man.
Well, then I had no choice because they got up and one went by the bathroom door and one went by the other thing door. And I went, oh, I'm not going to get stuck here doing dishes or they're going to lock me in or whatever. So I didn't have any, no couth about it whatsoever. I went, took 3 steps and just went out the front door. Right. Dude, I went out the front door. I didn't hear anyone like, hey, stop. I don't think anyone was really paying attention. But, dude, I just booked it. I didn't look at either direction to see if cars were coming. Dude, scared I just, dude, I had to have been just like a flash across Ann Arbor Road. And they pulled up to pick me up in the car. And I was like, I felt like I just done the craziest crime ever,
right.
So, yeah, it was weird. But I do know in restaurants, we were talking about dine and dashing the other day, right? Where, people will do it, order a big extravagant meal, and, managers. And the bad thing with servers, a lot of times they make the servers pay for, a discounted portion of that. And I do know in the bar industry, somebody walked on your table, you got to pay for it. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of, if you've got 7 or 8 tables, you're over here and bloom, you look at, you're getting an order and putting it on a tray. They look at you, get up and go out the front door. How is that your fault?
Right.
You're literally, you have to have eyes on the back of your head, or they should have a security system, looking at something in table A, or maybe slip something like a little, like a little beacon in there that when they walk out the front door, beep, beep, beep. Oh, sorry, we need to get that back from you. Have a great night, folks.
Right.
This, if you guys happen to go out and your bill's not paid or something.
See, that wouldn't work because when you go to Denny's, sometimes you're there for 4 hours and you need a smoke break, so you go out. Now that is one that I've seen used where we're all paying separately, and I paid my bill, and my buddy was like, "I'm gonna go out for a smoke," and he took a smokes out of his pocket, and everybody looked at him and was like, "Oh, he's going out for a smoke." And then he just never came back in. We were like, "I'm pretty sure he just left. Like, I'm pretty sure he's just gone. He just slyly just walked right out the front door, and nobody questioned it." But I have, being young, I always, even when I was young, I didn't spend my weekends partying in high school. I spent them writing code and like preparing for life, and got good job right out of high school kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I could afford, a nicer dinner. So a couple times I'd like go take my girl out, and they would sit us like next to the hostess stand, next to the kitchen. And I finally started like realizing it's because you're pretty sure I'm going to dine and dash. Like people like me come in and they're like, "Yeah, you ain't buying a $50 steak tonight. Like that's, you're not paying." And sure enough, like I've had places where like I've paid my bill, we've gone to walk out, and somebody's been like, "Did you pay your bill? Excuse me." It's like, "Yes, I did." Yeah, profiling.
SOB, yeah, like no, and it's random. I actually had the conversation in Chicago because they were really weird. We mentioned we're from Detroit, and dude, we got a weird like.
Oh yeah.
Keep your eye on them. Like all of a sudden, I noticed a bunch of people like looking.
Yeah. And they're way more attentive to your table all of a sudden.
Acting all high and mighty.
Yeah, like, and
Hey,
she wanted me to pay like after I'm sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
And she wanted me to pay, or no, we were sitting at the bar was here, and then they have the little bar tables that are like I could touch the back of the dude at the bar.
Yeah,
right.
they're right there.
So he's sitting at the bar, I'm sitting right here in the little thing, and she was like, "Well, okay, so that's gonna be $6." I was like, "I'm ordering food and other stuff." "Oh, well, it's policy. Anyone off of the bar." And I went, "So the fact that he is like 16 inches away from me, he can order and run up a tab, but I can't because." Somehow you can't see me, like
right.
that 14 to 16 inches means I'm going to be
spot,
just
man.
out of the. And I went, you know what? I was like, look, I'm not even tripping, sister. It's been a long day. I was like, I'll sit at the bar, right? Just move our tab to the bar. Okay, blah blah blah. Then they were still like, okay, so is that all you're going to order? And like trying to give me the tab, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
the NBA finals are on. I'm from Detroit. We're hungover. We drove all the way here. We got to the convention center. We worked the convention center for. And God, it had to have been all day, like from 9 o'clock in the morning until like 5. We had to set it up, do whatever.
Right.
Now we're sitting there, and I'm like, dude, I just want some food. I want some comfort beers, and that's it, right? I'm like, sister, I'm going to be here, right? This tab is going to grow, and I'm not going to. And I was like, so you want to run my card like 5 times? Like, okay, here's for the food, here's for the drinks. I'm going to order a couple more drinks. I was like, number one, that's stupid. Why are you going to, credit card process a beer every time? I was like, dude, is there. Oh, okay, well, blah, 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 whatever. So, and then everything I ordered came out lickety-split. Like, Chicago moves at a much faster pace than I would have imagined. Almost like New York. Like, they drive fast, everyone's cutting off and doing weird stuff. So I was like, okay. So, in the process of doing this, I went, okay, yeah, cool. Well, then I mentioned it to her, and then I was like, okay, we're going to pay her tab and whatever. And I was like, dude, I got it. She gives me the tab, and I went, and I pull out cash. Dude blew her mind. So all that, and you're going to pay with cash? And I went, wow. Am I in a relationship with my payment options? Like,
right.
I need to let you know exactly if I'm paying this or paying that. Like, I don't know. It just came, and the more I thought about it, I'm going to pay cash and do whatever. I was like, why? And I was like, wow. I was like, bro, calm down, right? Like, everyone simmer the F down. I was
Dude,
like,
she would have gotten no tip.
I think not no tip, but I think it was not like a normal.
Right.
Like I was like, yeah, you kind of were horrible.
Now, did you do the like, I'm going to give you 20 cents. I'm going to round up to the
No,
next dollar and like
I'm
make
not.
a point.
I'm never that jerky. I
Like a
tip.
10% or something like that.
Yeah. I went under.
See,
but then the broad, and I had a conversation where I went, dude, right? Why are you doing this? And she went, oh, well, and I went, and then the same thing, right? So. Were you really that concerned here to there and whatever? And she, it's just people will walk out and people will do stuff. And I went, you do know that you were there and you had your back turned. I easily could have gotten up and walked out. I was like, so you're telling me the bar or this little table here, But if I'm sitting at that table way in the back, right, this restaurant had like probably 30 tables.
Okay.
And I go, so if I'm sitting back there and the server's the one taking care of that very back realm where they have to go back in the kitchen and go, I go, do you know it's more probable to sit way back there and to dash and have nobody notice it than sitting right here where all 4 or 5 people are in a constant view? I was like, has that one ever? I never really thought of it. I went, look, watch this. I went, look over there, that server. Boom, they're gone. How long are they in the back for? Dude, that person could get up and walk. You notice nobody's hawking them, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I was like, you do understand that it's not a normal, practice.
They also absolutely, you walk in a suit, they're going to put you in the back, in the nicer spot.
You ain't gonna steal from us,
right?
Section.
In the you got money section, it's different, right? I go to dinner with my parents, we are sat differently than if I go by myself. I've had situations where I've been early and my parents are like, oh yeah, just get a table, do whatever, and I'll go in and they're like trying to put me next to the kitchen, and I'm like, no, I don't want to sit next to the kitchen or the bathroom. Like, give me a real table here. Like, what is going on? And my parents show up and then it's like, oh yeah, no, yeah, you can move. You're fine. No, fine. But it's like if it's me, it's a hassle, and it's all about all this talk recently. It's like this is profiling right here. You are deciding that because I'm in blue jeans and a t-shirt, not knowing that like maybe I went home after work and took my suit off because I don't want to wear a suit all day. Like, you've decided that I can't pay, so you're going to put me in a spot where you can watch me. And
yeah, it's kind of real. I mean, I get it. Loss prevention and and theft prevention is a real thing, but yeah. So, and we'll add this, and I hate to do it because it's Al, and it's I hate talking about anything that could be borderline racially driven with you, but I pinned something to the Bachelor Pad radio page, and this is the world we live in. Woman shoots somebody robbing her home, and his family asks how else was the suspect supposed to get cash, right? I guess it was a 17. This is in Florida, then it's like Miami-Dade County, and so when you're, and this dude, dreadlocks, gold teeth, whatever, it's Miami-Dade, and, whatever. So you're looking at all this, and the family was like, well, it didn't have to shoot him. I mean, whatever. And the family made so many weird, assertions in there that this was either okay or commonplace. Let me see if I can play this for you guys. It was really, really trippy. And this is kind of the, I guess since we got on the robbery and, the dine and dash, but sure. This is really trippy to me. The fact that the family was like, look, we're poor and we're from the inner city. How are we supposed to do? I mean, you can't, we're from the hood and, doing whatever. We can't be, how else was he going to get money for school clothes? Okay. They were like, it should have been an open and shut case, but the intruder's family blamed the homeowner.
I don't care if she have her gun license, her rights, or any of that. That is way beyond the law. You have to understand, you have to look at it from every child's point of view that was raised in the hood. How he gonna get his money to have clothes to go to school?
Oh, I guess I read more than was actually on the verbiage, but kind of random that some of this, and I've heard of millions of them in Texas. Same
sure.
thing, like why'd you have to shoot and kill? I mean, he was he just went in and stole some jewelry and some whatever, but there seems to be a lapse in judgment from extremely urban socioeconomic variances from either hoods or projects or whatever. And then the family, I mean, of course, when anyone is feeling bad and, going through, the mourning process,
right.
Possibility you say some things that maybe, but she seemed pretty lucid and not crying right. and not freaking out. And Like, well, damn, he went and broke in and did whatever. I mean, he didn't have to die.
Like, okay, sure, maybe he didn't have to die, but I don't know that. All I know is there's somebody in my house stealing my things. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're on drugs. I don't know if you know I'm home. Like, I don't know if you got a gun or a knife. You're going to attack me. You're going to attack my family. I'm not taking that chance.
I completely agree, but it's just so weird that the way they're talking about suing the homeowner, right? And now the police have to look at it was the shooting 100%, and Florida's pretty liberal with a lot of their their laws with that. But it is random the way that people happen to look at issues, right? From on both sides. Like, dude, you come into my house in the middle of the night, dude, there's no telling. Like, and I will take it to a whole nother level, even if I, because I'm not gun guy, right? I'm not crazy gun person. But I've got a dog who's pretty crafty, and if you allow me to make sure I got boxers on and don't naked fight you, Oh,
I will naked fight a man if he breaks into my
yeah.
house.
Oh, no. At that point, I mean, if you got a naked fight, you naked fight. I mean, I feel more comfortable if I was fully clothed fight, but if it was naked fight, yeah,
Dude, I'll use my dick as a weapon. I'll be like slanging it around.
That's right. Somebody will think that dude's also got a, he's got a snake loose in the house. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's a gardener snake. It's so long and thin.
It's so long and, I mean, not really thin. It's just thinner than normal than you would expect or whatever. But look, it looks angry, right?
The cop sitting there like long, thin penis.
Snake. Okay.
Snake.
Yeah, he has snake. So yeah, I don't know. It just kind of played in. These are the things that socially, I have to wrap my mind around. And and the next one was people stealing. A lady went to steal either FedEx or Amazon, packages, and they have the cameras. She runs up, grabs them, turns, slips on the grass, and like dislocates her knee or ankle.
Karma.
And her dude has to now come from the car and boom, pick her up and get her. And then he goes back and gets the packages. Like,
takes the packages.
Still takes the packages. Like, look, if she's gonna be down for a while,
that's dedication.
Hopefully,
man.
There's good stuff. Maybe there's some ace bandages. I don't know what's in this package.
There's a care kit in there.
That's right. But there's just so many weird things societally that are going on that there are people who sit around. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know their personal circumstances, but I have to think you are some of the lowest rung of our society, that you're going to drive around and go, oh, there's some packages. There's some stuff right there or whatever, and then run up and, and then the question was going to be, what would you do if you saw that in process? Like, even if I keep an eye on my neighbor's stuff, because my couch is there by the window and there's nobody to the other side. So I'm the first house, and looking down, I've noticed people pull up and stop, right? I just notice when there's random cars stops here or there. And I look, and I know there's, an older lady who lives next to me or whatever. Took her about 9 months to be okay, like, and be nice and be neighborly. So now I talk to her and we're chill. She didn't like that I didn't pick up my leaves in a timely enough manner. Then I'm like, no, I'm waiting until the last son of a gun falls off that tree. I'm not coming out and doing this like 5 times before, winter hits.
That's how I am with snow. I'm like driving to work this morning. It's still snowing. People are out shoveling the driveway. I'm like, you're going to shovel that again.
Yeah, it ain't stopping. It's going to snow all day.
Like, unless it's going to snow 2 feet and it's going to be too heavy to really shovel,
like that's weird neighbor stuff. Like, that will ruin like, you didn't cut your grass, or I cut mine, or you went over 1 foot onto theirs, or you left the strip. Like, dude, buying a house, you learn a lot about stuff that people just freak out about their house. Like, so after a while she got cool, but
we kind of share, like, where I live, like my neighbor and I kind of share like a 2 foot stretch of grass between like my lawn and her lawn and driveway. And when I cut the grass, I just cut that 2 feet.
Yeah,
because it's just
you're there.
It's easy.
It's a swipe.
And if she ever is like, "Why are you cutting my grass?" I'll be like, "Sorry, I thought it looked nice." Like,
yeah, no, that's
sorry,
cool.
I did you a favor.
Yeah,
right.
No, you need. To
I noticed that she hadn't shoveled her sidewalk, and so I was shoveling my sidewalk, so I just shoveled hers too, because it was like,
dude, if I
10 feet.
If I had a snowblower, I would do probably like 5 houses in each direction, because it's fun, and I know it's so much better than doing it the other way.
And I also know that this lady is, she's not 20 years old, like, she's not an older lady, but like, if I can save you some time, I know you got kids and everything.
He's trying to slide in. He's trying to be that
Oh,
friend.
no, there
is. Can I borrow a cup of sugar, Al? That's who he is.
There's no sliding in over there.
No sliding in? All right.
Like the
not
first,
a cougar hunter?
the first, I kid you not, right? So I'm all nice to this woman, and part of it is because I'm a nice guy, and part of it is because I'm pretty sure she's absolutely batshit insane. Like,
Okay.
we have a fence in our backyard that my landlord is like, it's her fence, and it's like falling down, and it's not my house. I pay rent. I don't have the mortgage. Like, it's not my job to fix the fence. And I'm like, dude, it's like $100. Like, I will fix your fence, whatever. You know, it's obviously a problem between you and this lady, and whatever. And well, no, because then she'll get mad, and I don't want her to say, you know, blah, yeah, and the rest of the fence is coming down. And I'm like, dude, I don't got dogs, I don't got kids, I don't care. If there's now a giant, like, 8-foot gap at the back of my fence because it fell down. But I was mowing my lawn one day, and it was sitting in my lawn, so I picked it up, and I pushed it into her lawn so I could mow my lawn, and she came out, and dude, I swear to God, she heard my lawnmower going and was standing at her door waiting
Just to
for
see,
it.
like, yep,
waiting
he about
for
to
it,
move it.
like, oh, I'm gonna go get him. And I was like, all right, well, let's talk about the fence. Like, we got to do something with the fence, right? And, well, I got kids, and I got kids. We'll talk later. And then just never.
So anyone trying to talk about the fence?
Which I guess, you know, there's two sides to every story, but the landlord's side is the only one I've ever heard. And it's like, you know, she apparently was like, I got insurance, and just leave like $500 in my mailbox. And he's like, no, just send me the bill. And then the next day it was, oh, well, you know, it's $1,000 in my mailbox. And so I don't know what's going on
One
there.
expensive fence.
But, right.
Yeah, those women.
I'm like, you realize that costs like $100, right?
Those women always want you to put money in the mailbox.
I tell you what.
I don't know what mailbox is a euphemism for, but they're trying to get money in that mailbox. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and bounce out. Jared the jeweler, thank you very much for coming in with your weird, obscure knowledge of fast food, fries.
It was a lot of fun joining you guys.
Next time we talk to you, maybe we'll. What about shakes, bro? What do you know?
We're gonna need a shake. We're gonna need you to come back and give us the
We'll have
rundown
you-
of
About
shakes.
food, I got you guys.
Tell me what you think about the Frosty. Where what
Yeah.
kind of weird hybrid, witchcraft is that Frosty, right? What is it? But yeah, that was kind of cool. We got through, and of course, Marlene, Rachel, Ernie, the regular Graham always in the house. Graham
Always.
driving, he's liable to get into a wreck, but God dog, he's listening to the show. Love that man.
He's probably still in the parking lot listening.
That's right. He didn't go
didn't
too
even
far.
leave.
He's chilling. He was like, man, it's snowy out. I'm just going to sit there and leave. I'm like, bro, we got a couch. You could have stayed here.
Right.
But on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So any of you late night tears, as Marlene did today, and Marlene, you can be it. You can be our surrogate late night tear. And dude, go easy on your profile pictures, sister. Man, she went ahead and post some pictures. I've been friends with her for a while. She had me looking sideways. I was like, oh, look at Marlene. I'm like, she's shiny and fancy and whatever. Did the dark hair.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
Yeah, no. I mean, she's a pretty chicken, and she's super cool. Like, I should have known she was a late night tear, right? To find her in here shouldn't have been a surprise because she's really cool. Some of the first times I met her, some of the things she said, I was like, oh, you're a good woman, right? Yeah, you make a lot of sense. But
I feel like the like all the women in late night tea, I'm like, there are not a lot of unattractive ladies here. This is
and the things that they're cool with and down with and
Right.
have the ability to talk
like,
open with.
Where are y'all in real life? What is going on?
Dude,
Why
dude,
are
go
you
to
not on the couch behind me?
Exit 94 and Telegraph, man, and then
Right.
just start zigzagging back and forth. You'll run into some of them somewhere. That's where they hide out.
Just paint late night tea on my car and wait for him to stop.
That's right. Oh, dude, they should. You like other radio shows like Tom Likas. He had Flash 'em Fridays or other things and whatever where you'd listen and he'd be like, Tom, I'm on the 405 and honk the horn and I just got flashed and thank you, Tom, right, for Flash 'em Fridays or whatever.
Right.
Like late night tea, there should be a hashtag late night tea like bumper sticker or like window decal,
Right.
or like a moon and a T or something, and other people are like, I know you.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
I know what's up.
if I was pulling into like a grocery store and I was like, oh balls, there's a late night tea thing and she's got a pink steering wheel, it's not a dude, so cool, I'm gonna sit here and wait. Be like, what's up, man? You're late night tea? Me too, bro. Look at the and you got the, but if you don't have the decal, like, I can't mess with you like
Right.
that.
No.
Like if
You
you've got the
gotta
bumper
have
sticker,
the decal.
that's right. It's not a bad thing.
No.
Because, dude, that'd be even better. Just let me identify you. And I'm just looking at him and going, everyone who looks like one of them, that's the one I'm going to talk to and be like, you
Right.
seem pretty wily. I like you. So, on that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to mess with the rest of my Taco Bell. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you for I never would have known the gentleman's understanding of fast food. All things fast food if you wouldn't have brought that in. So,
Right.
Al couldn't do it for 3 or 4 days.
No.
Dude.
I dropped the ball.
We got it done. All right, this is the Bachelor Pad Radio. Thank you, everybody, from Late Night Tea. We are signing off. Uno, dos, race.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's